Hi, this is Dr. Habib. I'm answering a comment from AA Musleh. And it's a very good question because he asks, how do we keep the normal levels of nitric oxide? And then in addition, he understands the connection between good amounts of acid in the stomach and the body's ability to release nitric oxide. So the first and most important one is, what is the normal nitric oxide level? Well, it's a little bit complicated. I'll try and keep it simple. The gold standard is when we have a technique where we cut off the arterial circulation. So when we have a probe in the fingertip, there is no pulse. When you release the pressure and you allow the blood to flow, the rate at which that probe senses perfusion, vasodilation, is the time interval that will determine whether you have good nitric oxide levels or poor nitric oxide levels. That particular machine is called an endopat, and it uses not only one cuff but two cuffs in both hands with probes at the tips of the finger. So that's the gold standard. And so the idea behind that is that by cutting off the arterial supply and then releasing it, the time it takes for the arteries to open, vasodilation, is synonymous with the nitric oxide level. That is the gold standard. There are indirect ways of looking at nitric oxide levels through blood tests, but those are not the gold standard. But I've got something more simple for you. If you are a man and your erections are not strong on a persistent level, not just a one-off thing, then it's likely that you have a low nitric oxide level. You don't have to measure it. You have a barometer. Okay, and then in cases where people are used to a certain level of performance with their workout, like I like to do cardio, if I am struggling on a recurrent basis to achieve a certain target, or struggling to achieve the target, or I'm not able to achieve it, that's low nitric oxide amongst many things. Bottom line is that if there is not enough vasodilation, there's not enough blood flow. So not only physical performance can be interfered with, compromised, but your blood flow to erections is compromised. And now we get to the point where, how do you optimize the acid in your stomach? First of all, don't take acid lowering medications and antacids if you don't have to. If you have to, then find out why you have the problem and figure out a way to improve it. And that's the secret to having good acid levels, is if you don't have acid reflux, chances are you have good acid levels in your stomach. And for people that have acid problems, you have to ask yourself, are my digestive enzymes adequate? Are the bacteria in my gut adequate? Is the lining, the mucus lining, adequate? Are the amino acids that make up the tight junctions in my gastrointestinal tract good? That's four of many other things that could be considered. And so those are good ways to maintain acid. As far as the diet, when you have things that are like fruits with citric acid, that's a way to maintain the acid in your stomach. Another one is just more simple than you may imagine, that good night's rest is a good way to maintain good acid, because too much can be bad, too little is bad, right? And so I would say that then the main thing is to feed the body nitrates, which comes in the form of green leafy vegetables primarily, or sometimes root vegetables like beets. Those have nitrates which are then converted to nitrites by bacteria in the mouth and bacteria in the stomach, and then the nitric oxide is released from nitrites. And one of the most powerful ways is not only to put the nitrates in your body from the food, but then to exercise, because exercise creates a shearing force in the blood vessels that then releases nitric oxide. That's what's going on when we're cutting off the blood flow, then releasing it. It's that nitric oxide is causing vasodilation, and you can have good blood flow, good nitric oxide level if you put the nitrates in, you have acid in your stomach, and you exercise.